Hello there and welcome. Today we are taking a full look at the Nerf Pro Gelfire Raid. Now this is actually my most anticipated blaster in the new 2023 Gelfire lineup because not only is it claiming 150 FPS, which is pretty good, but it's firing 5 rounds at once. So in my mind, this thing has the potential to be really cool. Now let's crack this thing open and see what you get in the box. In the box, of course, you get the Raid itself, 2 packs of 5,000 Gelfire rounds, totaling 10,000, eye protection, the same 800 round hopper from the Mythic, and the instructions. Now that we have the Nerf Pro Gelfire Raid out of the box, let's go over the blaster. On the top of the blaster, there is one rival style rail, and behind that, we have the hopper. This is the exact same hopper from the Gelfire Mythic. Of course, right here we have the trigger, and under that we have the safety. Now, ordinarily, in the forward position, you are ready to fire, and in the rear position, you are safe, but on my model, it actually does not work. The safety doesn't do anything. I doubt this is going to be consistent, and it doesn't really hinder the performance of the blaster, but it's kind of funny. Quality control. This blaster is pump action, so right up here we have the pump. It is quite ergonomic. I actually really like it. And the draw is pretty short, so you're going to be able to get a lot of shots off very quickly. Now looking back here at the stock, it is not adjustable, and that really surprised me because it is fairly short. I'm not a big fan of how this feels. If I could extend it to about here, I think it would be pretty comfortable, but as is, you really have to choke up on it. Not the end of the world, but certainly not ideal. Besides the stock not being adjustable, overall the ergonomics are pretty nice. Now let's load this thing up, take it outside, and grab some chronograph data. Loaded up, I have genuine Nerf Gelfire rounds. Now this is firing 5 rounds at once, and the box is claiming 150 feet per second. 115, 145, 152, 122, 148, 141, and 139. So it's not the most consistent thing ever, but yes, it will technically hit up to 150. Now let's fire some shots downrange. As far as the spread goes, this thing is phenomenal. It fires exactly like you would want a multi-shot blaster to fire. In whatever direction you are pointing, you are not going to miss your target. Here it is up close so you can get an idea of impact. I also have noticed, while the Mythic requires shaking with this hopper, because this blaster is a manual springer and you're shaking the blaster every time you're priming it, this hopper works fine. Now let's go back inside and I'm gonna wrap up my final thoughts. What are my final thoughts on the Nerf Gelfire Raid? Overall, besides a couple things, I am very happy with the blaster. Now, the safety being faulty out of the box is not really a huge deal to me, and really that kind of thing could happen to any blaster, so I'm not going to hold it against the Raid. My main biggest complaint is the lack of an adjustable stock, but it isn't the end of the world. I mean, this is definitely usable, and maybe the idea is you're going to choke up on it because this is a more close quarters multi-shot type blaster. So maybe that's forgivable, but coming from the Ghost, I definitely would have liked some adjustability. As far as the performance, yes, this blaster did achieve 150 FPS, and that is honestly pretty impressive because it is firing 5 at once. As far as the actual firing and multi-shot capability, the hopper fed very well because this is not like a Mythic where you need to really shake it occasionally because every time you prime the thing, that is shaking it. So the actual hopper feeding was fine. As far as the actual launching of the rounds, the multi-shot capability, it also works very well. Generally it fires 5, but occasionally you'll get 6 or even 7. And the spread is exactly what you would want. Whatever your target is, wherever this thing is pointed, you are going to have a hard time missing. The overall build quality is great. I really like the rear and front grip. So overall, I'm actually very satisfied with the Raid, and I actually think this is going to be the Nerf Gel Blaster that gets more of the Nerf community kind of interested and wanting to try out these gel blasters. I could be wrong there, but this one is especially fun to use and offers a very unique feature that really takes advantage of this small ammo type. So those are my thoughts on the Nerf Pro Gelfire Raid. Subscribe if you like what I do. Have a good one. I would love to hear your thoughts on this thing, and happy blasting.